Everybody had a chance to look at them? If so, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion made by Glenn,
Second.
second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We don't need to take roll call since Jeff's not here, do we?
That's correct.
He's out.
Okay.
Is that online?
Okay, as far as the claims are concerned, everybody had a chance to look through those, and if so, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion made.
Motion made by Steve,
Second.
second by Jose. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Which brings us to our public hearing from Huntingburg Public Library additional appropriation. Do we have anybody that would like to talk about that particular situation, or we're just going to go with it?
We're just, in case you have questions. Yes.
This was heard at your last May meeting, last meeting in May,
Yes.
or is it June?
Two meetings ago.
2 meetings ago, whatever, 2 meetings ago. And there were some errors that were contained in the additional appropriation resolution and ordinance. State Department of Local Government asked that we correct those errors and to republish the notice and have a public hearing. And tonight's the time, day notice for public hearing. If anybody has comment, this is an opportunity.
I hear none.
Motion made to close the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much.
And since the ordinance was introduced last meeting, you can consider for final adoption tonight.
Okay.
I don't have the number on it.
I just looking for that. Did any of you have it down on 2021,
I know that part.
20?
I think
It's 21 now, I think.
that was passed. It was.
You introduced the last.
I just threw that away this
Yeah, it was 10
morning.
minutes from last one.
I wasn't.
I went down to get my book. It wasn't where I had it last.
Your last meeting.
Was it last meeting?
Well, Chris New came back and changed something.
22, I think.
22, is that what it was?
Well, let's just double check. I'll pass it around for signature. It's set up so that you sign on the right-hand side if you're in favor of it, under the I column, not under the nay column.
It is 22.
22?
22? Okay.
I thought it was 21 or 22.
Make a motion on that, or does someone
Yeah, you need to make a motion. I'm sorry.
make a motion to approve the additional appropriations for the public library?
Motion made by Glenn,
I'll second.
second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do I?
Aye.
Where?
Aye.
Bounds. Kissling.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent.
Thank you, we really appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
Third time's charm.
I've just got a few kind of clerical things here to just kind of go through with you real quick this evening. First of all, we talked about the putting some railroad crossing bypass type signs out so people would know that you can take the bypass if the train's blocking them off. And Jason has ordered those today. So basically, once he gets those, we'll be installing those, one on 231 going north, and then 2 of them on 64, one going west and one going east, so they can make sure they know where the bypass is going to be. So as soon as they get in, we're going to go ahead and put it on, or put it in, I guess. The next thing is that we were contacted by Du Bois REC, and they would like to, as a courtesy to us, give us access to having utilities for our street department. So they'll now be paying ourselves instead of paying Du Bois REC as far as electricity they use in the street department. So that's, I'm trying to get them to do, all companies do, but they wouldn't go that far. So
So there's a process that we have
Yeah, we're
to
have to start
go
going through
through.
that, so.
Apparently, it was back in 1990s, I think it was 96 or so, the Utility Regulatory Commission divided the estate up into electric service territories, and everybody was assigned a territory. City of Huntingburg has a territory that we can only serve that territory. Du Bois REC has a territory, they can only serve in that territory. You can trade or exchange territories, or by mutual agreement change the boundaries, but to do that you have to have a written agreement and describe the boundary and map it out and file a petition with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and publish notice that you're doing that, and if nobody objects, then the commission will approve it. If somebody objects, then the commission holds a hearing to see whether or not it makes sense to grant it. So with your permission, I'll proceed in getting that work done so that the street department will be in our territory and not in Du Bois REC territory. Now, if there's a shortcut or a quicker way to do it, I'll certainly pursue that, but to my knowledge, that's the process. What I researched today, that's the process.
Does that only pertain to the street department
Yeah.
and not their neighbor?
That's correct. When we annex that territory, we elected not to take over that territory. When a city annexes a territory that's being served by another utility, you may elect to take that territory over into your service territory, but you have to pay significant damages. And I think that's like 10 years estimated gross revenues from the territory, and you have to also purchase or reimburse the utility that's there for all their capital costs that are currently in that territory. At the time, the council elected not to do that with this particular territory. I guess was south of 19th Street, I believe, that strip south of 19th Street that we annexed, going west toward 400.
Right. But we're gonna make it just our property and not.
So
not-
the only
not the
territory,
neighbor.
yeah, the only territory we would change would be what we own, what the city of Huntingburg owns.
Which is unusual for them to give up anything, but
Well, yeah.
it's not bad to pay ourselves at that point instead of them, so.
That's good.
Anyway, so once we have that, obviously Phil will bring it back to us for approval, whatever we need to do, but obviously it's in the works to do that, so. The next thing we talked about at the last meeting was as far as the curb in front of the Stein camps. After talking to Jerry and kind of blindsided him a little bit about who's going to pay for who, what, where, how, and why, he's been talking with several people, and at the present time, everything's been put on hold. And I could read the whole thing to you, but I guess NDOT is now saying that, no, we can't do anything with that curb until they figure out what's going to happen as far as the height and all that type of thing. They're still looking at from the standpoint of looking at with Justin Love and Jaminski as to what the actual contract called for them to, how high to build it and so forth. So that's still in the works as far as checking that. So until all this gets worked out, nothing's going to get done until we're for sure what we're doing as far as the right thing to do.
The
So,
gentleman I talked to at state said he would not issue any permits until that highway is complete. So it's on hold until.
at least till,
We get
for
the
sure
highway.
till that, yes. But, until as far as who's going to be responsible for it, we're not sure what's
They're
happening.
gonna check the as-built versus the plans at some
Right.
point.
Yeah.
It's,
See what's happening. So-
there's a lot of finger pointing.
I bet there is.
That seems to be the biggest part of it, is to who says what's where, how, why. So anyway, it's been put on hold
Right.
until we get that taken care of. The only other two items I've got for informational purposes is that we signed all the necessary paperwork for the Methodist Church property last Friday. So we now own that strip that we can deal with as far as the back alleyway is concerned through that, as well as we signed a couple little pieces of property that Mama T's owned to kind of be able to make the turn and stuff, and we're going to need to do that, and he signed it off without any dollars or cents being shaved as far as his part is concerned. He just wants to get it taken care of. So right now, we're in the process of having what we need to start working on some alley project as far as that type of thing is concerned. So that's been taken.
Good news. Good news.
And the next thing is, obviously, tomorrow morning, we have to close in on the Maple Park property between the school board and ourselves. So that'll take place, I think, 9:30 tomorrow morning. So we'll give you what's going on. Yes.
And back up to the Methodist Church, I assume we're looking for grants. That might
Yes.
be out there.
Yes. We've talked to several people already as far as what we can do. But there's also some other avenues that we can go down because of the stormwater and sewer that's part of that project, which actually falls into the ARP fund type thing. So We're looking at terminology of that, correct, Tom?
What's that?
As far as looking for going through the ARP program, as far as trying to help out with far as that alley project is concerned, we talked about that the other day. So yeah, that would be a big help for everything as far as that part's concerned.
There's several avenues of funding there we can aim at, I thought, soon.
Yeah, there's other avenues, plus with the alley activation project that we got going on too, we can kind of throw some stuff into that type of category also, so. With that, that's all that I have. Phil?
I'm going to be forwarding to each of you a flood control ordinance. When we adopted the UDO, our zoning consultants recommended that we not put the flood control ordinance in our zoning ordinance because from time to time, the federal government requires amendments, and to amend the zoning ordinance is extremely cumbersome. So they recommended that we adopt that as a separate ordinance. So that was the floodplain ordinance, or the flood control ordinance that we have was repealed when we adopted the new UDO. So I prepared a new floodplain ordinance that complies with the current federal law. And I'll circulate that. It's a 26-page ordinance. But I'll circulate that for your review and maybe consideration in one of the next upcoming meetings when you feel comfortable about it. In order for properties to be eligible for flood insurance, the municipality has to have a flood control ordinance in place where you administer permits for building in floodplain areas, flood-prone areas. So that's going to be coming before you. I just want to kind of give you a heads up. It's kind of a lengthy ordinance. And the administrator for that would be the zoning administrator, Paul Lake. Paul Lake, yeah.
Paul Lake.
Behind the times there.
Yeah. Know the feeling.
Does that affect anything current?
No, in fact, there are very few changes from what we adopted back in 2014, I think. It's almost the very same thing we adopted in 2004, very minimal changes.
Good.
Anything else, Phil?
That's all.
Tom?
I guess we can consider sometimes in March or April, August,
There you go.
that you guys want to talk about the budget with the superintendents. Usually it's early, or it's mid-August.
Probably gonna have to wait for Jeff's schedule, I guess, but we could tentatively set some dates.
And if you don't want to set it, that's fine. You can wait another while.
Wait till the next meeting, maybe kind of look and see what everybody's available as far as August wise is concerned.
When's the supers got their budgets proposal to you?
Well, I give it to them today, August 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah,
We wouldn't want to do
I'll
it
be meeting
before
with
that.
them before that, and then we'll get together with Tom and go through that again before we come here, so.
What we've done in the past, Mayor, and he may have told you, we block out a date and we go through, so.
That works. So you want to just wait till the next meeting to set up a day once we get a chance to talk to everybody and see?
That's what.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds.
I'm fine either way,
Okay.
or email it or something to get some tentative dates that work in the schedule. We may want to throw them out early so people
Yeah,
can
we
start.
can maybe put 3 or 4 dates out there for everybody and see what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually do that in the middle of the week, don't we?
We
Like
usually
a
do it on
Wednesday or
Tuesday or
Thursday?
Wednesday. Normally
Tuesday or
we do.
Wednesday, something? Yeah, it's the
So
middle of the week.
Tentatively the 18th would work for me. I don't know if it does anybody else, but
Okay.
When?
18th?
August.
August 18th?
But we have to check with Jeff.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any other items from the illustrious crowd that we have here this evening?
Calm down.
Both of you.
How about any other item from the council?
I'd like to congratulate one of our resident natives, and that would be giving us recognition last night on MLB. Mr. Montgomery, congratulations to him, and thank him for putting Huntingburg on national television.
Absolutely.
So noted. Yeah, it was quite the affair to watch him.
Yes, it was.
It's kind of exciting, just the anticipation was one thing, but then once he got on there, some of the interviews that he's had prior to that were really pretty
Yes.
awesome too. He's just
Yes.
a fine young man, so
Nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
there's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, everybody.